Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Two for One Special Podcast. My name is Randall, and with me, as always, my boy LJ and the OG Dad himself. Man, y'all go ahead and talk to these folks, man.
What's
What's up? What's
up?
up?
All right, everybody. Now, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode. Now, on today's episode, as we are recording, they just dropped the 12 bracket for the college football playoff. So this not the original one. They're just giving everybody a play-by-play on how it will work. 'Cause a lot of people got kind of confused about it. So, Dad, since you're the OG, what's your thoughts on this 12-man bracket?
All right, so let me start by saying this. Oh shoot, hold on. I'm looking at the bracket right now,
Right?
and I feel like there's a team in there that I don't believe should be where they're at, in my
Mmm.
opinion. But the problem is they're going to be there because if they don't win the conference championship, they're going to be stuck where they're at.
Which team you talking about?
Miami.
Miami. Hold on, what Miami on here? What they at? They
They
number
got them as
six.
number three.
Yeah, number three. They ranked number six. 10-1. Oh, why you don't think Miami should be in there?
I think Ohio State is a better team.
Mmm.
But Ohio State had to beat Oregon in the conference final, and I think Oregon's a really good team too. So whoever wins that one is probably going to be whoever wins that one is probably going to be the number one seed, and the loser is going to be the number five seed, in my opinion.
Okay.
So those are you can flip both of those. But I agree with everything else. I agree with Boise being the number four seed. I agree with that. SMU getting in there is like kind of crazy right now, but they're there. You know,
Right.
Notre Dame, as bad as that loss they had early in the season, they bounced back in the seventh seed, so I can see that. Penn State, who hasn't really looked good, like in their games and their wins, but we're not playing if they look good or not. Well,
Right.
you guys, Florida State would disagree with me from last year, but and to be honest, I don't like Tennessee in the thing either, though. To be honest,
Okay. LJ, what you think?
so just to be clear, you're not saying that Miami shouldn't be in the playoffs. It's just you don't like where they slotted at, right?
I don't like where they're slotted.
Okay. Uh, I mean, I honestly, this is going to change by next week, or well, this week coming up.
Right.
It changed a lot this week just because of the madness that happened.
All
Um,
the losses, yeah.
and it was crazy. And I think you're just going to get some more losses due to the fact that it's just a madhouse in the SEC in the
Plus,
Big
it's
12
rival week too. I ain't mean
or
to cut you off,
Pac
LJ.
12. Yeah, and it's rivalry week. I can't remember which conference is the Colorado, Arizona State,
Big 12.
Big 12. That conference is a mess right now. It's a
Mm-hmm.
four-way tie for first.
Right.
Because for some reason Kansas can beat all their top rated ranked teams, um, and it'd be like you look like frauds finally after losing to Kansas, and then Colorado still has problems, but they're probably the best looking team in my opinion. But Arizona State look like they might go ahead and win out just because they're peaking at the right time. So it honestly going to depend on who wins this week in the Big 12 to see who goes to that championship game. And then whoever wins that championship game, and that's probably be the only team that gets in from the Big 12. Uh, I know a lot of people still think Alabama can get in. I don't think Alabama can get in, even if they beat Auburn. If they lose to Auburn, they definitely out. But a lot of people think, oh, if it's the right way, then Alabama could get in. I just don't think that's right
No, hold on, hold on. Let
because
me
there's
let me
a
ask
lot
you
of
this, LJ.
small
Let me ask you
teams.
this, because it's a they said it's a potential that Alabama can get in. Who playing for the SEC championship?
Georgia and more than likely Texas.
So they
I think it's I think it's whoever. So Georgia's in no matter what right now. It depends who wins Texas versus Texas A&M.
okay.
Whoever wins that game, I believe, goes to the championship.
Is Texas A&M still in it?
Yes,
Yeah, in that
Be-
conference, yeah.
even with the loss to
Ooh.
Auburn, yes, they are still in it. They
By the
have to
way,
beat Texas.
my wife was pissed. She's an A&M fan.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
But they saying that if Georgia lose in the SEC championship, Alabama could sneak in like they did last year.
I
Well,
don't
isn't it
think
Texas in it though? Texas is the one that's in it, right?
no. Georgia's the one that's in it.
Yeah.
Texas is not confirmed. Texas has to win against Texas A&M to get in,
But here's the
and vice
thing.
versa.
But here's
Right,
Whoever
right. But
whoever wins that game is in.
so like, because I don't think SEC is doing conference anymore. They're just doing top two.
Right. Yeah, it's the top two.
So like right now it's Texas and Georgia. Texas does play the Aggies this weekend, so like
Mm.
at Kyle Field. So Texas need to win that game. So does Texas A&M. To be honest,
100%. Yeah.
the losers out the playoff at that point.
Right.
Yes.
But then let's say for the sake of argument, Texas wins. Then it's Texas and Georgia. Unless Georgia loses and Tennessee wins, then it will be Texas Tennessee in the conference championship.
No, they've already confirmed that Georgia's in.
That Georgia's in. Are you sure?
Yes.
For the SEC.
Positive.
Okay.
Yeah,
They
the
confirmed
SEC
that
all over the place.
Saturday. They said with the win from Saturday night from Ole Miss losing and Auburn winning against Texas A&M, Georgia's in no matter what.
Do they have enough? They don't have any more SEC games,
No, they have to face Georgia Tech. That's their last game.
Yeah.
and that's not an SEC team. Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, Georgia got the best conference record. If I'm not mistaken.
Okay. So yes, Georgia and I'm looking at the standings right now. And Georgia is 6-1 in the conference right now. Georgia's 6-2. Texas is 6-1. Sorry, and Georgia's 6-2.
Yeah.
So if Texas wins, it'll be Georgia and Texas next game, and then if Texas loses, then it's either going to be Texas A&M in Georgia or Tennessee in Georgia.
Mm. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. Multiple things can happen. If for out for in order for Alabama to get in, Arizona State, Tennessee, Georgia, at least them teams need to lose because they both got 92 records. All three of them. Hold on. In order, because they were saying on ESPN, in order for a team that loses 3 to get into the 12 man, Arizona State, Tennessee, and Georgia will have to lose. And then they gonna go to the board and like last year to figure out who had the toughest schedule or something like that, however they rank the schedule. And they're gonna go to the board and see. Now if they lose, and then on top of that, out of them teams, Arizona State, Tennessee, Georgia, if they lose, and I don't know if Arizona going to their conference championship or conference title game, I don't know. But if they
That's
lose,
the four-way tie one.
okay, that's a 4-way tie. So let's say Arizona State loses, but they still eligible to go to a conference game. And let's say, yeah, and Georgia go and they lose. Alabama will get in 100%. If Arizona State lose and become 93, then go to their conference game and lose. Same with Georgia, 100% Alabama going to get in.
I
So
don't see how you have a three loss team, man.
So here's another scenario I'm looking at right now. If SMU loses, then Bama will be in because you
Mm,
got your best out of the top five, best out of the group of five already in Boise State. So if SMU loses, that opens it up for Alabama also.
yeah. Damn. Who
Because
Clemson?
because right now you will have two out of the best of five in it. That will be SMU and Boise State. Now, does college football NCAA have people want two of them in there? Absolutely not. They want Boise State in there because Ashton Genty,
Oh
but
yeah,
they don't
he's
want SMU in there.
right.
You just got to be fair to them and rank them as high because they've been winning. But the minute SMU loses, they is out.
Let me ask you this, Dad, both y'all, cause they got Clemson first team out. So if any team loses, Clemson gonna get in, no matter what. And then Alabama, depending on who loses in the conference.
I
Who
think
I finna say
Alabama
who?
jumps Clemson.
Okay, and who Clemson played for their last game? Y'all know?
South Carolina.
South,
That's
South
the
Carolina
rivalry.
is a hit or miss this season. They give you good games and then they come out and get you some trash. So that's a hit or miss. So in my opinion, I think it's 50-50 if Clemson might lose that, maybe, depending on which South Carolina team we get. I don't know. But to be honest with you, I think all this gonna boil down to the conference title games. That's pretty much what all this gonna boil down to. Because Texas, I'm just gonna say this: Texas is gonna beat Georgia, so Georgia gonna be 93. That means on top. So that means now you got to figure out. All right, are we gonna let a 93 team in? If the answer is yes, then who we gonna let in? Are we gonna still keep in Georgia, or we gonna push Clemson or Alabama? So you're gonna go to the drawing board to figure out. All right, so out of the three teams, that's 93. Georgia just lost their conference title. Alabama beat Georgia, but do you think Clemson is eligible to beat Alabama in Georgia? Because I'm just gonna go ahead and say Texas is gonna not blow out, but Texas is gonna beat Georgia. So Georgia gonna be 93. So that leaves
You think
Clemson.
so?
I think so. 100%. I think so. Cause I don't know what the hell going on in Texas this year, but them boys ain't playing. And Georgia, them two losses they lost. Their QB was under he was nervous. I'll put it like that. So, and who they well, do you know the conference title at LJ or no?
For what?
For the SEC, you know where they're gonna play at or no?
It's in Georgia.
Or is it
It's in Atlanta. It's always in Atlanta. Now, before you keep going on, I want to just say this real quick. Texas hasn't faced nobody in the SEC.
Ooh.
They've only faced Georgia. Let me read you out their SEC opponents.
Okay.
Mississippi State, who is, hold on, let me see. Uh, Mississippi State, who is, I don't see, they don't have their record here. 2-9.
Damn.
Right. Mississippi State is 2-9. Oklahoma, who was 5-5 until they beat Alabama.
Right.
Now they 6-5. They lost to Georgia. They faced Vanderbilt in a close game. They almost lost to Vanderbilt.
Mm.
They blew out Florida. They barely won against Arkansas, who is 6-6 or 76.
Yeah.
No, they 6-6. And Kentucky, who is 4-7.
Damn.
The only two teams that they have faced in the SEC is Georgia and now Texas A&M.
Right.
I think they're a little bit suspect. That's just me. Because I'm gonna give it to them. They was blowing out people, but when they had to face an actual defense or
Good
somebody who
team.
kind of
Right.
knew what they was doing, it was super close games. Vanderbilt lost to Georgia, almost lost to Arkansas,
Yeah.
and now you got Texas A&M. And the boys from Texas A&M are going to be mad that they lost to Auburn and will beat Texas. That that's what I think is going to happen.
Well, let me.
So,
Oh, go ahead, Dad. Go ahead.
let, uh, uh, just give me one moment to get this out.
Yeah, go ahead. Go
Um,
ahead.
let's say, for argument's sake, right? Um, the score for Georgia Texas was 30-15, but I think it was closer. That game was closer than that, to be honest. It wasn't Arch in that game.
He played one down or one series.
I thought Arch played like more than one series.
Mm-mm.
It
Because
was,
that
it was,
that so
Was it
I
at the
remember.
game that the original QB got hurt or no?
No,
okay.
so
He
what
came in.
happened is
He came in for Quinn Ewers. He did come in for Quinn Ewers
yeah.
for a little bit.
So what happened is Q and Ewers was playing like straight garbage. It was like before halftime. It was in the second quarter. He was playing like straight garbage. So what's McCullough put him out and put Archie Manning in, and Archie Manning got absolutely destroyed that drive by Georgia defense. Absolutely ran him off the field.
Damn.
And then it was halftime. And so they went to him and said, "Who's your quarterback? Are you going to continue with Archie Manning, or are you going to go back to Quinn Ewers?" And he said, "Quinn Ewers is my quarterback. He's going to stay in," and he stayed in for the rest of the game.
Okay.
Uh,
So, I'm gonna be like just because look at that game. That game was close. It was 23-15 until the start of fourth quarter where they scored once. Um, Texas played Georgia really good. They got Carson Beck to throw 3 picks and throw for 175.
Carson Beck's trash. I'm gonna just say that here
Carson
right now.
Beck also doesn't turn the ball over like that though either.
Yeah, have we been watching the same Georgia games?
This year it's been different, but beforehand, like he hasn't been.
I'm about to say
And
he's
beforehand, I
not
think he
taking
had like
on.
5 picks his like whole career or something like that. Like, let me see. Let me look at this real quick because I gotta see. Because I remember him not having that many picks. It's like he's still not gonna be good in the NFL, but you know. So this
I'm
year,
about to
okay,
say
this year he been wilding because he had 2 picks his first year, which he didn't play much, and then 0 his second year, which he didn't play much that one either. Then last year he had 6, and this year he had 12. So he's been not playing it. I never said Carson Beck was actually good. Let's keep that clear. But like Georgia doesn't really turn the ball over like that either. So that's by the end when the Texas defense they played them pretty good, and that's my as we say that Texas actually played them pretty good. So I think Texas can actually beat them this time if Quinn Ewers doesn't mess it up.
So let me ask
So
y'all.
that's
Go ahead, OJ.
um, no, I was just saying, what's saying, gotcha.
Okay. Now let me ask y'all this though. So let's just say Texas beat Georgia. So now you got 3 teams that's gonna be ranked 93 or 10-3, to depending. Well, no, 9-3. I don't know. They're gonna have 3 losses. Let's say put it like that. So now you gotta go to the board. Out of Georgia, Clemson, and Alabama, who you gonna put? Who you gonna put in? Knowing that Alabama beat Georgia, and then you got Clemson. Who you gonna put in? You gonna leave? You gonna leave Georgia?
I don't trust nobody from the ACC, so I'm not putting in Clemson.
So you ain't putting in Clemson. So it's gonna be
no
between.
me neither.
It's gonna be between Georgia and Alabama then.
I put
Georgia's
in Georgia.
Georgia's in. I think win or lose their championship game, Georgia stays in.
Georgia stays in.
Yes,
I
in my
agree with
opinion.
that.
You agree with
They
that?
just gonna be last place. I think they 12.
Okay.
Maybe like a
Or
10th seed or something like that. But like
yeah,
win or lose the championship game, I still think Georgia stays in. Because let's be honest, the college football has a thing for Georgia and Alabama.
True that.
you
So
have to have at least one of them in there.
True that.
mm-hmm.
But now let me ask y'all this though. Tennessee and Arizona State is the only 92 teams. Tennessee and Arizona or Arizona. Let me go with Arizona because Arizona 12 and they last. If Arizona State loses and they become 93, who you pick? Clemson or Alabama to go in?
What that will depends on who gets over them, right? Because the only reason Arizona State is in it is because they won the conference championship, right?
They already had theirs.
So no, no. The only way Arizona that's what I'm saying. The only way Arizona State gets in
Oh, is
because
they? Okay, oh, yeah,
from the
yeah, yeah,
college football ranking,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you're saying.
the
Yeah,
college football rankings, Arizona State is technically 16, but
yeah,
they're the biggest. Yeah, they the next one in the Big 12.
yeah. And they number
After that is
12,
Iowa and BYU.
yeah, and they number 12 in the bracket. So they the last team, but they're 92.
Right. It would depend on who goes in the championship for the Big 12,
Uh huh.
um, and who wins that. Depending on who wins that will determine my pick for that. But honestly, you really can't say nothing because I I don't think okay. So I'm gonna just put it out here, and maybe I'm cursing them, but I don't think Georgia should not lose to Georgia Tech. I do not think
I don't think so.
Alabama should not lose to Auburn, but it's been a weird year for both Alabama and Auburn. So we're going to put that in. That's definitely going to just be chaotic, and somebody going to win that game in some ridiculous
Now
fashion.
I'm finna say that's up in the air because it's Iron Bowl, and Auburn.
It's
Each year is different. Auburn can be 2-9, and when it comes to Iron Bowl, they like undefeated. So
it's not just that it's the Iron Bowl. Is that both of these teams are in weird spots right now
that is
because
true.
nobody knows what to do with Alabama offense and some of their defense, and then Auburn as a whole. Our defense is pretty solid except for last week. I don't know what was going on with the defense, and then the offense been trash. But last week again, I don't know. Something clicked in Peyton Thorne's head finally, and he decided to be decent.
We still
Still threw a pick
we
though,
shouldn't even had it
but
been an OT because we was up 21.
I'm not. I was surprised to be up 21, so I not.
Look at that. Hold on, Dad. No, hold on, LJ. Dad, go ahead and say. You want to say. Go ahead and say it.
No, no, no. Like y'all played a good game. Y'all almost choked it off in the last like
Uh
in
huh.
the game.
It wouldn't be an Auburn game without it.
It
So
would not be our. Yeah, yeah. But go ahead, go ahead.
Um,
no, nothing you are saying.
no, no. And I get that, and I get that. My thing is um, I got a couple points. First off, Bama. Um, this is not like a weird year for them. This is what Bama's going to be from now on.
That's true.
Bama is going to be very beatable with the new coaching regime and stuff like that. Because and this leads into my second point. There's a reason why Nick Saban left, and it's I'm gonna sound like the old man get off my lawn right now, but it's the mentality now of the college player who is coming into a big program rich already,
That is true. Yeah.
coming in rich already. They have nothing to fight for, nothing to
That pushes them.
that hunger. Yeah, you got to have that real hunger already, and keep that hunger when you got like 3-4 mil or more in the bank, you know. So, it, and I'll be honest, that Bama coach, he gonna pay every player. He's going to pay every player to try to keep the Alabama name alive because he has the ghost of Nick Saban running down his back every game, every loss. When they almost lost to Georgia, you cannot tell me he wasn't like stupid scared when that loss to Georgia. After he almost lost to Georgia that game. Their losses haven't looked good. The Vanderbilt loss wasn't good. But as we see, Vanderbilt is playing teams pretty good this year. Like they play Texas good. So like I'm just thinking Vanderbilt's just like a pesky team that nobody can get away. Vanderbilt's Pat Bev right now.
Right.
That's what Vanderbilt is.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the other thing. So Tennessee has to face Vanderbilt, and I feel like that's a trap game for them, and I see them losing. That's why I haven't kept because technically it should be Georgia versus Tennessee in the SEC game. But they got to face Vanderbilt, and that's just it's smelling like that's a loss for them. I
So
don't know
so
how.
I'm confused, LJ. You're sending me mixed signals right now because
What do
last
you
time
mean?
we was on, you was singing Queen Eber's praises and stuff like that, saying that he should be up there in the
That was
Heisman.
that was 4 weeks ago. That man been saying that was 4 weeks ago. That was 4 or 5 weeks
But
ago.
that was the last time we was here, though.
That's true. And so in that time period, somebody says he's hurt as well. They said he got a rib injury that he sustained. Was it the Georgia game he got it in? I can't remember which game he got it in. But some people are saying he got a rib injury. He gets hurt every season. At this point, it is what it is. But 4 weeks ago, he was playing at a Heisman level. Now he's not playing as a Heisman level. He's nowhere near the Heisman level. He he's he's playing well. He's playing very good. But there have been multiple times where that offense has just started to spun out for no apparent reason other than he can't make his throws. So I
I was confused. Thank you for the clarification because I'm like, what? Why is
there's no
LJ
confusion.
just
Hey,
just in
Jalen Milrow was
Texas?
a high candidate until
until that catastrophe they had last week.
right until the Oklahoma game. And
Yeah,
now, well, and you don't hear no words about him.
no. Everybody in Alabama hate him right now.
Which is
Only
like,
three
which
points.
I hate that. I hate that because like, if somebody has a bad game, it's like
Yo,
it's the pile on
that that
pile
that
on
that
thing.
that he had a bad game. It just the what the heck? It was just the fact that he only scored 3 points.
I know.
Okay, I'm a step in there. You know I'm not an Alabama fan, but they said there was two touchdowns. I didn't see two. I only know that touchdown to Ryan Williams,
Yeah, that's the only one I saw.
where they called
They called him
they
back.
called him back for it.
Yeah,
I said that was complete bull. That they should have never called that back. I don't know
illegal.
what
What it was?
was going
Illegal
on.
handing or
Illegal
something.
illegal touching
Touching.
off the line.
Yeah. I never heard of that before.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what that was. That's the only one I would give them for it.
Yeah.
I was like that. It should have been 10 to 24 at least. But I'm a let that slide.
But yeah, his Heisman hopes is completely gone. He ain't in the conversation no more. Same like Shador and Travis. Well, Travis
No,
some
Travis Hunter's still in
he's
there.
somewhere
Travis
in
I don't
there.
know
Hunter's
about.
number one right now. He should be number
I
one,
thought I
but
was
he
gonna
is
say
number
I
one.
thought old dude from Boise is number one
No,
because he broke the record.
Ashton. They're not going to give it to Ashton.
They don't want
They
to
are.
give it to a running back.
Damn.
They don't want not only a running back. They don't want to give it to somebody at Boise State. That's what the problem is. He's going to get to New York. He's going to be one of the finalists, but it's the goalpost moving for Genty. It's like, oh, you can hang out with us. You're just not going to win.
I can see them doing
And
that because of the name.
and it's because he plays for Boise, and he not only because he plays for Boise, because he plays for the Mountain West.
Yeah.
West.
Yeah, and we all it's no secret the Mountain West is not good. Like but my thing is Boise was one drive away from beating Oregon.
Oh, so that's
Like
they only loss was to Oregon?
that's their only loss is to Oregon.
What was the score?
I don't know. Let me check
If
it.
it's a, how his stats look in that Oregon game?
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
I knew that was kind of
37,
early on.
34. They literally lost 3 points.
Mm, you can't, I don't know. Well, that was early on. You can say
It was the second game of the season.
yeah, you can say that
Yeah.
this is a different team now, so you can kind of toss that in
I don't think it's
Um,
that much of a different team.
No, it's not. It by no means is that much of a difference. And against this elite Oregon Duck team, Ashton Jeanty had 25 carries, 192, and 3 TDs.
there.
Like so, like when This is why I did not complain a single thing about um, Boise having a bye. You can rank them as low as you want, but if they win that conference, you give them that bye because they proved that they could play with Oregon. I think Oregon, if I remember correctly, won on a last-second field goal. If I remember correctly, yeah,
Yeah,
Atticus
but that's
Sappington,
Thursday first.
25-yard field goal with no time left.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if if there was any more time left, they get the ball. They didn't win, So, and did they have a kick return too, or something like that? Yeah, they had a kick return, and they had a field goal. The kick return tied them with Boise State. They had to come back through special teams in order to win that game.
Damn.
Now you could say that Oregon drove that last drive. They got them downfield. They got them into field goal range. That's very true. Oregon Oregon has the better team than Boise, but Boise has no problem being that dog in the fight. They do not. So at the very least, Boise deserves that bye. If they win the rest of their games, they win their conference. Boise gets that bye.
Yeah, I don't think Boise going anywhere. I think they stay where they at in the playoffs. Cause they number 4. I don't see them going anywhere. I think Oregon stay where they at. Miami stay with who Miami play last?
Miami. Let's see.
And who they conference is? ACC.
They're in the ACC.
Yeah. So who they playing against? Because I think Oregon stay where they at. I want to say Texas stay where they at too.
So they got Syracuse next. And you want to talk about who ain't played nobody.
They
They got bailed out for 2 straight games, if you remember. The Virginia Tech refs bailed them out, and Cal, the refs bailed them out.
Well, I don't think they going anywhere. So Miami gonna stay where they at. Texas, it's a toss up with Texas, depending on which Georgia team we get. And I think Boise stay where they at. I don't think Boise going anywhere. All I know, I'm gonna tell you this though. This playoff run gonna expose a lot of teams. Like Dad said, Miami ain't play nobody, and the rest of these SMU ain't play nobody like that and stuff. So this 12-man playoff gonna expose a lot of people, a lot of teams. It might expose Boise because I'm pretty sure Ohio State gonna gonna blow the bricks off of Arizona State. So it's gonna be Ohio versus Boise, and I think Boise's gonna get exposed
I think Ohio State beats Oregon in the championship game. I'm being honest.
in the semifinals.
No,
No,
in the
in the championship
Big
game.
Ten championship game.
They rank. Oh, well,
They the same
ain't nothing gonna
conference.
change because they 10-1, both of them 10-1. Oh no, Oregon.
No,
Oregon,
they'll swap
Oregon
spots.
undefeated.
They'll swap
yeah.
spots.
So if Ohio State wins, they're gonna be the new number 1, and you gonna put Oregon in 5.
Yeah, because they played earlier. They played earlier season, and it was a 1-point game. Yeah, it was a 1-point game, and it was Atticus Sappington again scoring, making a field goal with 1:47 left, and Ohio State just didn't win. So
So technically they might play each other 3 times then.
they
Yeah,
could. They very well could.
Yeah, because they're gonna play each other. They're gonna play each other for Big 12. Oregon, Ohio. Then, depending on how the placement for the first round, they're gonna be playing each other in the semifinals. Damn.
I want to ask y'all a question real quick about this Ohio State team.
Go ahead.
Is it me or that just Will Howard is not that good?
Ohio is a toss up. You get a good team, and then you get a garbage team like last year.
I'm looking at the quarterback Will Howard, and Like I'm not trying to bag on the kid or nothing like that, but he's not as explosive as Ohio State's quarterbacks in the past. And maybe that's just me like having expectations of Ohio State quarterbacks just lighting up the league and stuff like that.
You're right.
But Will Howard has just been meh. They're
I
winning games.
I think yeah, I think your your exposure to Ohio State quarterbacks are deceiving you. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at his stats. It's not. It's pretty good.
No,
It's nothing.
I'm not saying he's bad at all. What I'm saying is that like he just doesn't seem
You
like he's
you
the
you
guy.
expected him to have 0 interceptions, 35 touchdowns, 20 rushing touchdowns, something like that, and over
So who was the
5,000
quarterback
yards.
last year? Who was the quarterback last year? It was
I have these sliders up there. Let's see.
because it was C.J. Stroud 2 years ago. I can't remember for the life of me who was last year's quarterback.
Ohio State
So, but you go C.J. Stroud, who lit it up there. Justin Fields lit it up there.
They on here they said it was they had four: Chad Ray, Mason Maggs, Devin Brown, Aaron Nolan.
No, not a one. They ain't good. But like outside of that, I guess the past 2 years, there, I'm used to like the the Dwayne Haskins who lit it up, the Cardell Jones, like everybody. They remember that one year they was on the third string quarterback and they was still lighting it up, like like it's wild to me that like I'm just like, oh, they're winning games, but I just don't see like anything like wow, like they're doing like they're lighting up the league or anything like that.
I know what you're talking about. It's not like how Ohio State used to be.
Yeah, because like I said, you have your Cardell Joneses, um, your Justin Fields who lit it up, Dwayne Haskins lit it up over there, even C.J. Stroud before that. So I'm like, where's the star power in that? That's my question.
Cause I know what you mean. Cause it's like how Clemson and Alabama always used to run the championship every year. Ohio was in that it was in that conversation as well.
Right.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They not like how they used to be back in the day, where for a fact it's gonna be either Alabama, Clemson, or Ohio State in the championship.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you mean.
Well, they have that now. After this guy leaves, this Will Howard guy leaves, because it was
Did
last
they,
year was Kyle McCord, and he went 11-1.
yeah,
At least
McCord. I remember McCord. Okay, but still, like, was McCord a superstar? No.
No,
Mm-mm, not really. Only time will tell. All I know this year is gonna be one hell of experience because a lot of teams gonna get exposed. Pretty much, a lot of teams gonna get exposed. I believe Boise gonna get exposed. Whoever they play, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Ohio. So
is that really getting exposed, or that's just what we expect to happen because they in the Mountain West Conference?
It's
Understandable
what we
that
expect
yes,
to happen. Because
right.
like I'm gonna be honest. I don't see Boise winning a playoff game. I don't see them.
oh no,
But
uh,
I think they deserve the right to get that bye, though. I think they deserve to
Yeah,
get that bye.
yeah,
But do I think that we'll win a
it's
playoff
like the
game?
TCU
Especially if
thing.
they go against Ohio State. I just don't see it
nah, they
personally.
nah.
But
It, it,
you never know.
it's
When
like
you have a
TCU.
running back like we have a running back like Ashton Jeanty, anything can happen. You know.
That is true. You're right.
Anything can happen, but also his line has been playing pretty well, I believe. And I don't know if they're gonna get no push against no Big 12, Big 10,
Yeah,
SEC
cause the
defensive
Ohio
line.
State defense is something else.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
I believe they
And
can stop them.
my understanding is that the defensive line for Oregon is one of their weak spots.
Yeah.
Now that's gonna be a toss up because Oregon will. Well, Because if Georgia lose, in my heart I believe Georgia gonna lose. So it's gonna be Tennessee and who
Georgia gonna lose to who?
to Texas in the conference.
I still think they get in. I think both teams gonna get in. If you're in the championship game and you have a savable record, I think you're in.
Only time will tell.
For the at
Because
least for the SEC and the Big Ten. Now for the other conferences, no.
here's the thing though,
But at
cause
least for
we
the SEC, Big Ten,
here's the thing though, cause we falling in the same similar path like we did last year with Florida State being the number one and number two wherever, and they dropped down to four, something like that. We had a similar situation, and I believe the committee is gonna somehow put Alabama in. If Georgia lose that conference title, the committee gonna find a way to put Alabama in. And we all know how favorable the committee is to Alabama.
and if that is true, then you we are going to have to seriously think about who who does the decision making at that point, because that might be 2 years in a row that Alabama have gotten in when they shouldn't have.
When they should have,
So
right?
you're going to have to really make that decision. I understand they're going to say no, they the best teams. No, you put them in there because of money, and I can understand that it's money. You want to make sure you get the most money that you can.
Right.
I ain't got no problem with that, but that doesn't mean that's the best team that could have made it in there.
Well, to be honest with you, it all goes down to Georgia, Tennessee, and Arizona State. Well, to be honest with you, it really boils down to Arizona State and Georgia, because Tennessee they ain't finna do no conference, so it really boils down to Georgia and Arizona State. And if Arizona State lose, I'm pretty sure Clemson gonna go get in. I don't think Alabama gonna get in. Clemson gonna get in. But if Georgia and Arizona State lose, Alabama gonna get in, 100%.
I mean, college football loves this some Alabama.
They love
I'm trying
Alabama,
to tell you.
and then you gotta look at it like this: out of Georgia, Arizona State, Alabama, and Clemson, them four teams, which team are we gonna let in with a 9-3 record? After Georgia just lost their conference and Alabama beat them, so which team we gonna put in that got a 9-3 record? And I'm pretty sure the committee gonna automatically gonna find some way to persuade the rest of the people who vote to put Alabama in there somehow. Alabama probably gonna be. I believe Alabama will be 12. If Arizona State and Georgia lose, Alabama gonna be the new number 12. Watch, because
And I would call into question. I'm not worried about it. I'm gonna just let Auburn deal with it.
but let me ask y'all this before we end it though. If it does boil down to it, let's just say so it could be crazy. Let's just say Georgia 9-3 go 9-3, Arizona State go 9-3. Then Clemson and Alabama went out. They 9-3. Out of them four teams, on the one spot left, who gonna be the new 12 man?
I think the committee's gonna put Alabama in because they love Alabama.
But
I have no faith.
hold on, what you think, Dad? What you think? If you was in the committee, who you gonna vote for? Clemson, Alabama, Arizona State, and Georgia. After Georgia and Arizona State both came off of losses, who's gonna be the new 12?
It's not Georgia. It's not Georgia.
Okay.
Georgia's gonna be in like top six, probably. If I had to choose, it would be what you call it. It would be not Syracuse, Clemson.
Okay. Eljo, who you gonna put? If Arizona and Georgia lose, who you gonna put for the new 12th man for the 93? Georgia, leave Arizona State, or put in either Clemson or Alabama.
So, so you're saying Arizona State lost their championship game, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Because I just want to make one thing clear. Arizona State can still not make it to the championship game. It's a four-way tie, and it depends on who wins and loses next week. Depends on who gets in.
okay,
So it's just Arizona State is just this far up because they not picking who goes to the championship game. I just want to put that out there real quick. So if Arizona State loses another game, they're just completely out.
right.
If Georgia loses another game, I think they're still in, no matter what. I think both of the teams in the SEC championship game and in the Big Ten championship game will make it, no matter what their record is.
Agreed.
So it's 9-3 for Georgia, and then whoever wins loses between Oregon, or whoever wins between Oregon or Ohio State. One will either be 12-1, and the other one's going to be 11-2. So it really doesn't matter. They still have the two best records, right?
Yeah.
Um, okay. So then you come down to Clemson and Alabama.
Hold on. So that means Georgia will be the new 12 in the bracket. So who you gonna put for the 11th spot? Clemson or Alabama? If Arizona
I
lose,
think Georgia.
go ahead.
I think Georgia's still in that 11th spot. I think Georgia would be ahead of any team they put in 12.
Okay, so you're gonna move Georgia to 11. So who gonna be the new 12? If Arizona State loses a regular game and don't go to the conference, who you
All right. So we basing this off of the standings today, right? We basing it off the standings right now.
Or we just gonna go from the future.
Okay, in the future, because I'm gonna say it now, Clemson is going to win against South Carolina. It might be it's going to be a bomb burner, but I think they're going to win.
Right.
I think Alabama will either be in a fight with Auburn and lose, or it's going to be a blowout. It's 1-2.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not sure.
yeah. I don't know. After that game,
I'm going
Yeah.
right. I'm going that it's going to be a win for Auburn because Auburn has more to play for, and that they can finally get bowl eligible after 3 years of not being bowl eligible.
Right.
So that means Alabama loses their fourth game. Clemson wins, and so Clemson gets that 12th spot.
But let's just say Alabama do win Iron Bowl,
If Alabama do win the Iron Bowl
and
and Clemson win,
Arizona State loses a regular game, but they don't become bowl eligible, who you think? Do you think Arizona should stay or Clemson or Alabama should
no,
stay?
Arizona should not be nowhere near it.
All right.
It should probably be.
Clemson or Alabama, which one?
I'm looking at it. It comes down to Clemson and Alabama every time. It's going to come down to Clemson and Alabama.
So out of those two teams, if Arizona State loses a regular season game and
It would be Alabama because Alabama going to draw a crowd no matter what.
But
It's going to be Alabama.
who you want to pick? Because we pretty much know who the committee gonna pick, but who you want to pick?
Honestly, if well, so if this is who I would actually like to see in there. If Colorado makes it to their championship game somehow, with being that four-way tie, and they lose, I think I would want Colorado in there
Colorado
because here, yeah.
for the new 12.
hmm Now I know Colorado is
Oh, they gonna be okay. So they be 93 too.
yes.
Oh, okay. Damn, you put Colorado above Alabama and Clemson?
The only reason because it would make so many people mad. One, two, you will get the same thing that you get from Alabama, but even more.
Damn.
Because the appeal of Alabama is that it was Alabama and Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Nick Saban's gone now, and people are hating this new coach, even though this new coach is a really good coach. I need people to lay off the coach because I really do think he's pretty good. But if you put Colorado in there, you have Deion Sanders and Shador in the Colorado, and and they can somehow go on a run in that playoff. I think it writes itself.
That because I saw your eyes wide open when LJ mentioned Colorado.
No, because we first of all we went this whole podcast if I mentioned Colorado. I thought I was gonna make it out of it if I mentioned Colorado at all, but
Oh no, no,
That's
you are
LJ.
we are obligated to have to mention Colorado.
But what you think about that though? Because Colorado is ranked 25 right now in a new ranking that just came out a couple hours ago. They 25.
Colorado can still get in if they win their conference championship. They still got to get in first.
Yeah,
That them losing the
Utah.
Kansas.
no
Oh no, it was Kansas.
Kansas
I'm tripping.
Kansas. Where was the defense? You know what? That like because I want Colorado in at this point though. I do.
They they
I do.
they got their heads banged up. They was feeling themselves too much. That's all I
Oh,
got to say.
they was feeling stuff way too
They were
much.
feeling themselves way too much. Once ESPN and everybody started banging his head up, I'm like, yeah, they finna lose this game.
Honestly, you might well put Kansas in there because Kansas done beat three
Yeah, get out of here with
ranked.
that.
They beat three ranked teams in a row, back to back to back.
They technically
And what's their
did.
record still?
We not talking about records. I was just saying
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
when
about.
it comes to ranked teams, they do something.
LJ, if Colorado win their last game,
Mm.
bowl eligible, they be the new 12 man.
Yeah,
Is that what you
If
think?
they win, I don't think they're going to go 12. I think they
well
might
they
go
would be
10.
they would be 12 because that's how they had. I don't know how they do it. They got this. The whole thing is weird. I don't know who.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. Like what we're looking at as far as the standings, this is just like I think ESPN, who's doing the standings, is projected because the college football committee is not putting the standings out there.
Yes.
They're just putting the top 12 teams that will be in right now.
Right.
So all this is projection. So we don't know what the committee's going to do. If
Until the beginning of December.
yeah,
So,
until the playoff when the playoff starts.
so before we leave, can I just say, whoever is on that committee and doing some of the stuff that they are doing, as in, why are they just not like they be pretty much? And I guess it's because they have commissioners of the conferences on the committee. But they're for I was listening to like Pat McAfee and some other people talk about it, and they just don't want to put out who's going to be the champion, who are they projecting to be the championship winners, or who's going to do these games and things like that. They don't want to do that for some odd reason. But you putting at the top 12, so this is what we are assuming. Just go ahead and put out who you think making it to the championship game, and then
You
who
see,
this is who you.
they're not even doing a top 12 record. They're putting like if it ended today, these teams will be in.
Right.
Right.
And they're being real. I don't know if like it's just like not piss off teams or something like that, but like they are being real skittish with this. It's like it's high key very annoying.
Because at the end of the day, it's boiled down to the conference title games. If any team loses that, it's gonna pretty much shake up the entire bracket. And then you gotta go to the drawing board and be like, okay, who's gonna go in now? If such and such team that's in this bracket lost their conference game, now you gotta figure out, okay, which team who didn't go to the conference game but got a better record than the person who just lost the conference game is eligible to be one of these teams in the new 12-man champion playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And we already know somehow if any one of these teams that's on this bracket lose a conference game, let alone a regular season game, Alabama gonna get in. We already know that.
Yes, that is true.
Even if Alabama don't even go to, well, Alabama ain't going to a bowl or conference game, so we know for a fact they gonna go in there. But I would not be surprised if somehow somebody put Colorado in there just to piss off everybody. I wouldn't be surprised at that though. If they win the
I
regular
think it's
season
po-
and they
I
go to
still
a
think
bowl.
it's possible for them to get in. I mean, the easiest way for them to get in is hope that they can make it to the conference championship somehow because right now it's really convoluted because they all of them lost a game or two to each other, so it's just a
It's up
mess
in the
right
air.
now.
Yeah.
But
All I gotta say is, hold on. Let me open this up. In order for Colorado to get in there, I want to say Arizona State got to lose, Indiana got to lose, SMU got to lose, Clemson got to lose, and Georgia got to lose. Not Georgia, Alabama got to lose, and then Georgia, yeah, then Georgia got to lose their conference, while Colorado wins their last in conference, and I can see them making it in. A lot of teams got to lose in order for Colorado to get in.
Colorado could just, I think Colorado could just get in by just winning their conference. They're automatically in.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right. It's gonna be good. Cause goddamn, I don't know how they got this thing set up right now. Ain't no telling who gonna go in there. But I believe Texas gonna beat Georgia. Then now you gotta put that up in the air. Georgia lost, but Alabama beat Georgia. Should Georgia, since both teams 9-3, do you believe Georgia should stay in, or Georgia get out, or Alabama get in and Georgia stay in as well? You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be up in the air. Do you think Clemson should get in because they got a better schedule or record than Alabama, but Alabama beat Georgia, so they should jump Clemson because of that. So ain't no telling. To be honest with you, it boils down. It really boiled down to Arizona and Georgia. To be honest, for Alabama. And for Clemson, it boiled down to not for Clemson. For Colorado, it boils down to Arizona and some more people. But only time will tell. Cause we'll see in 2 weeks. But Dad, your final thoughts. What you got to tell what you got to tell the people.
Um, well, first of all, I want to apologize to Kyle McCord. He's currently almost at 4,000 yards passing this year, playing for Syracuse.
Damn.
My bad, I wasn't familiar with your game. But thanks for everybody who showed up, who listens to us and everything. That it's much appreciated. Um, yeah, that's what I got to say.
Elgin, what's your closing remarks?
um, my closing remarks is that also I'm gonna go on my high horse again one more time. Uh, I'm looking at the how they would fan out. There should not be it at least for that first round of the playoffs. You should not be able to face a team that's in your conference. So if it was like we would say, if it was to start today, it will be Tennessee versus Georgia in that first round,
All right.
and I think that's ridiculous. But that's just me.
I'm pretty
And that's
sure.
the only, but that's the only game that's like that too. So I guess you really, I mean, you have to change somebody, but yeah,
I'm I'm
I
pre-
think that's crazy.
I'm pretty sure next year they're gonna switch it up or change it because a lot of people thought that it's gonna be 1 through 12. Whoever's ranked 1 through 12 gonna get in. But a lot of then but they was kind of confused. They were like, cause Arizona's 16, and people were like, how the hell Arizona ranked 16 and they in?
You have to give the Power Five group
You know what I'm saying?
the
So a lot of
yeah.
people was kind of confused on the ranking system for this.
They didn't do a good job at explaining this. They really didn't.
Yeah, they did. So because a lot of people thought, oh, if you rank 1 through 12, you in the playoffs. And then they came out and explained it, and everybody like, how the hell Arizona State in there, and they ranked 16, but everybody that's between 12 and 15 not in there. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people got confused on that.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure, like I said, this the first 12-man tournament. I'm pretty sure they probably gonna clean it up and learn from their mistakes. And next year probably gonna be a little bit different. So we'll see about that. But my closing remarks, uh, it all boiled down to the conferences, title matches, and who lose and who win and who play each other. I still believe Texas is gonna not blow out, beat Georgia. Arizona State, they may lose. So if Georgia and Arizona State lose, 100% Alabama gonna get in. But if Colorado wins out and get in their conference and win a conference, now that's gonna be a toss up because it's gonna be, do you want to put Arizona in there? Not Arizona. You want to put Colorado in there because they won a bowl and got a better record than Alabama, or do you want to put Alabama in there because they had a better schedule than Colorado, or do you want to put Clemson in there because they had a better record, better schedule than Alabama and Colorado? So that gonna be a toss up. But we know how the committee is, and they pretty much exposed themselves last year with Florida State and Alabama. How Alabama snuck in there and got above Florida State. So I'm pretty sure if one of these teams loses, somehow Alabama gonna sneak in there. But only time will tell. Other than that, like Dad said, we truly appreciate y'all for stopping by. Y'all loving these sports podcasts on YouTube, so hey, we gonna keep on doing them until y'all have enough of them. But y'all showing y'all really love the sports episodes, so we gonna keep on pushing them out. But other than that, my name is Randall. With me as always, OG Dad and my boy LJ. And together, we go by the name of the Two Phone Special Podcast. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed this week episode. And by the time y'all see this, happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully, y'all have a good Black Friday. And we will catch y'all on the next one. Peace out.
Peace.